taking notes, this is going to be number 9. And we're talking about area of trapezoids. Area of trapezoids. So this is our 4th shape. So we talked about rectangles throughout the year. All right. We specifically mentioned parallelograms. What's my formula for a parallelogram? Area equals base times height. A equals BH. What is my formula for the area of a triangle? Carson?
Base times height divided by 2.
A equals base times height still, but we've got to divide by 2. For our trapezoids are a little bit different because they don't just have one base. Trapezoids are going to have 2 bases. All right? So since they have 2 bases, the first thing we're actually going to do is find the average of those 2 bases. We're going to find the average of those 2 bases. And if we don't remember how to find the average of something, what we're going to do is we're going to take those 2 bases. We're going to label them as base 1. You'll see that 1 is a little 1 down at the bottom. That's called a subscript. All that's for is because I don't want to just put b plus b, because then it looks like they're the same. So we have base 1 plus base 2. And again, you see how we have those subscripts there? Oh, I forgot to put, this is area. A equals. Okay. There were base 1 plus base 2. To find the average, once I add them, then I'm going to divide by 2. Because there are 2 things that I'm adding. So that's the average. That's the mean. Okay. So let's kind of think about the other formulas and what this is still missing. So we have base 1 plus base 2, and we divide that by 2. Now, let's think about our other formulas. For a parallelogram, it was base times height. For a triangle, it was base times height divided by 2. For the trapezoid, we have the average of the bases, but we're still going to have to multiply that times the height. Very good. All right. So, guys, I just mentioned that because there is something in common with all these. All of these formulas are base and height, base and height, base and height, base and height. You just got to remember how to work with them. All right. Now, guys, this formula is a little bit longer than the others. And I know that y'all hate having to write down extra stuff. But please, every time you do a problem, write the formula. If you write that formula every single time you do a problem in today's notes and on today's homework, I would bet that tomorrow when I come in and I say, what's the formula for the area of a trapezoid, you will know it without even having to think, okay? So we're going to write our formula down every single time. All right? So the area of a trapezoid, let's write our formula. A equals base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. Every single time I'm going to write my formula. All right, now I mentioned getting out a highlighter or a crayon because what we're going to do is we're going to highlight our 2 bases. And the way that we know our 2 bases is they are the 2 lines that are parallel. So they're the 2 lines that are going in the same direction. So out of these 3 numbers, 13, 6, and 9, which of these 2 lines would be considered parallel? Liam?
9 and 13.
9 and 13. So guys, I'm just going to highlight those. And if you notice, when I highlight them, it's even more obvious that they're going in the same direction, isn't it? Okay, so every single time on trapezoids, your 2 bases should be going in the same direction. So that's what I'm going to put in those parentheses. So in the parentheses, instead of B1 plus B2, I'm going to put 13 plus 9. Divided by 2. And what is the height here? What is the height going to be? Braxton? 6 feet. Now, guys, y'all remember yesterday we talked really specifically, my base and my height, my base and my height. They have to have what type of angle? A right angle. Do y'all see how this forms a right angle with the 9? And it also forms a right angle with the 13? So does my height still make a right angle with both of the bases? Absolutely. So right here I'm going to put times 6 because 6 is my height. Nick? That's an excellent question. So what Nick just asked is, does it matter which one is base 1 and base 2? It does not matter. It does not matter. We could have put 9 plus 13 here. Doesn't matter. Excellent question. All right. So now that I have my 2 bases and my height plugged in, now we can just work it out. All right? Guys, I've got to see where you're taking those numbers and plugging them in. All right, order of operations. What does order of operations say I need to do first? Doctor? Parentheses. So inside the parentheses, 13 plus 9 is 22. Then we have divided by 2, and we still have times 6. Now, guys, at this point, I'll let you type it into your calculator. We have 22. You can do 22 divided by 2, which is 11, times 6, which is 66. Or we can do 22 times 6, which is 132, divided by 2, which is 66. So either way, if you type in 22 divided by 2 and get 11, then multiply it by 6, you'll get the same answer. All right, I like to do the division first because it keeps my numbers smaller. So 22 divided by 2 is 11. 11 times 6 is 66. And what's going to have to go next to that 66? Haley?
Feet and squared.
Feet squared. Because we're talking about the area. That's that two-dimensional inside of the shape. That's that flat surface inside. Okay? All right, letter B. Number B, if you will. What are my bases going to be here? What are my bases? Caleb? 7 and 3. Those are both going in the same direction. All right, and then just to double check, I only have one other number, 5. Is 5 making a right angle with both of those? Yeah, there's a right angle. There's a right angle. So we are good. Those are my two bases, and 5 is going to have to be the height. All right, let's write our formula. A equals base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. I'm going to write that formula every time because every time I write it, I'm one step closer to memorizing it. Guys, you'll notice I'm always using lowercase b's. A is the only capital thing. All right? These b's do have to be lowercase. An uppercase B, we're going to see that when we get to volume, and it actually means something different, okay? So we want to make sure we're using, if I use a lowercase, please make sure you're using a lowercase. All right. So plugging this in, inside of the parentheses, what do we get inside the parentheses? Nick? 7 plus 3 divided by 2, and then times 5. 7 plus 3 divided by 2 times 5. Now we can add what's in the parentheses, which gives us 10. So I have 10 divided by 2 times 5. All right, and then from here we can just type the rest of that into our calculator, or we can do this in our head. 10 divided by 2 is 5 times 5 is 25. 25 what? Centimeters squared. All right, excellent job, guys. Very, very good. All right, we're going to look at C. It's our last one. C, our last one that we're going to do together. C is going to be our last one that we're going to do together. Yeah, we're keeping it short. These trapezoids are pretty simple, wouldn't y'all say, once we get those bases? All right, so C, now C is really important because you'll notice, do I just have 3 numbers here? We got 4. So, well, let's do the easy part first. Let's pick our bases. What are my bases going to be here? Sophia? 65 and 28, because those are in that same direction. 65 and 28. All right. Now, since I got 2 numbers still left out, that means one's going to be extra. One of them is something I don't need. So which one of those is going to be my height? Which one of those is my height? Matthew? 73. Why 73? It's definitely connecting the two, isn't it? All right. Have you ever stood next to one of your friends and so you got your hand to your forehead and then you're measuring and you're pointing up at them and you're like, look, we're the same height. Or look, I'm definitely taller than you. But what's happening to my hand right now? I know the people watching the video can't see, so y'all got to tell us what's happening to my hand. It's going up. That's like me going up to Miss Willis and saying, look, I'm as tall as Miss Willis.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. My hand's going up. Do we want our line to go up or slant when we're measuring height?
Up.
No.
Oh, slant.
Right. Guys, it's a yes or a no question that I'm asking. If I'm measuring my height, all right, y'all are telling me I'm not the same height as Miss Willis. Because what's wrong with this when I'm doing this with my hand? My hand's slanted. It's going up. Guys, do I measure height on a slant? No, you got to go straight across, right? So when I look at this, 73, is it going straight across? No. 61, is it going straight across? Yes. 61 is going to be my height because that's where I have my right angles. So 73 is what we didn't need. 61 is our height, okay? Just remember, that's like if I go, think of Miss Sawyer being goofy, trying to stand next to Miss Willis and be the same height. That is not happening, all right? I wish I was that tall, but I'm not. Okay, so we get our area. Area equals, again, I'm going to write that formula out. Base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. Okay, so my two bases here, what were my two bases, Morgan?
65 and 28.
65 plus 28. And again, you can write that in the other order. You can do 28 plus 65 divided by 2. And what was my height that we definitely decided on? 61, because that's going straight across. Okay, so in the parentheses, 65 plus 28, what does that give me? 93. And then we have divided by 2 times 61. And then from here, we can use our calculator. 93 divided by 2 gives me, okay, and then we multiply it times 61, and what does that give me? 2,836.5 what? Inches squared. Okay, very good. Yes, Caleb?
If we don't put the square part in the square supposed to be would you mark that wrong?
Now you got to have squared, because we're not just talking about inches. Inches would be like the measurement of one of these lines. We're not talking about the line. We're talking about the entire inside, that flat surface. We've got to have the squared because that's two-dimensional, not just one line, which is one-dimensional. Okay? Got to have the squared there. All right? Are there any other questions? Ethan? In just a moment. All right, guys? Braxton? In just a moment. All right. Guys, on the back, your homework is on the back. It's kind of hard to see, but on number 2, do y'all see that dotted line? What number is next to that? 2. That says 2 feet. 2 feet. The rest of them I think I caught and was able to fix. You're going to do 1 through 12. Down here, guys, this desk problem, that really didn't print off good. We're going to take that one off, okay? Y'all are going to do 1 through 12, okay? All right, guys, take your time. Go ahead, get her.